Tor is a name that has become synonymous with anonymity. It's used by journalists in countries with heavy censorship, human rights advocates, crypto enthusiasts, and, of course, criminals. It's a portal into a world where your IP can't be tracked, your route remains hidden, and supposedly no one can tell who you really are. But here's the paradox. This network, built as a shield for privacy, was created by the military, specifically Americans' intelligence services. Tor was developed in an environment where protocols aren't made for likes or profit, but for spies. And yes, the CIA is part of this story. So who does Tor really serve? Can it be trusted knowing it originated from agencies that specialize in surveillance?
This video isn't about conspiracy theories. We'll explore Tor's origin story, how it works, whether it actually protects us, who funds it, whether users can be tracked, and why this technology still inspires fear in some and hope in others. To understand what Tor is, we'll start with the basics, how it works, and why it's called an onion. Tor stands for the Onion Router. This isn't just a metaphor. The technology is literally based on layers of encryption. Normally, when you access the internet, your traffic travels directly from your device to the website. Your IP address, location, and even your provider can be easily identified. Tor works differently. It wraps your traffic in multiple layers of encryption and sends it on a path that's not direct. Instead, it travels through 3 randomly chosen nodes. The first, the entry node, knows who you are, but not where you're going. The second, the relay node, just passes the traffic, knowing neither source nor destination. The third, the exit node, knows where the data is going, but has no idea who sent it. These 3 nodes are in different parts of the world. One might be in Germany, another in Canada, the third in Malaysia. The entire bundle is encrypted so that each node only sees its nearest neighbor, like a nesting doll of data, or more accurately, an onion. This architecture achieves its main goal, anonymity. Not invisibility, but rather the impossibility of tracing the data path backward. Even if someone controls one of the nodes, they only see a fragment of the puzzle.
Tor isn't only used to visit regular websites. It also allows access to .onion domains, hidden services not indexed by Google or accessible through standard browsers. This is where the infamous and often illegal Darknet resides. But not exclusively. Tor also hosts legal and useful sites. Most major news organizations have .onion versions of their websites for secure access in censored countries. The entire Tor network is made up of roughly 7,000 volunteer-run nodes around the world. Each is simply a server run by someone who supports internet freedom. Tor is open source, meaning anyone can check what's inside, and it's always been free to use. In 2011, during the wave of protests in the Middle East, Tor became an invisible weapon for activists in Egypt, Tunisia, and Libya. Facebook and Twitter were blocked. Thousands continued coordinating via Tor, bypassing censorship, sharing photos and videos, and telling the world what was happening on the streets. Journalists and human rights advocates in Cairo published articles by accessing the internet through Tor. Their reports appeared in The Guardian, Al Jazeera, and The Mind. Without this technology, much of what we know about the Arab Spring might never have reached us. During the protests in Hong Kong against the extradition law, China ramped up internet censorship by blocking messengers and social media. Activists used Tor to coordinate and share information about police violence with international media. In 2021, the Pegasus scandal erupted. Journalists received anonymous leaks revealing how spyware was monitoring phones of politicians, journalists, and human rights defenders. The whistleblower, risking everything, used Tor to send encrypted files through OnionShare. Without Tor, these leaks might never have surfaced. By 2025, Tor is used by over 2 million people daily worldwide. That number is growing, especially in countries with rising censorship. In places like China and Iran, where ISPs block access to Tor, users rely on bridges, hidden relays that don't appear in the public Tor directory and allow people to connect without the provider knowing they're using Tor. But if everything is so transparent, why are there military programs and even the CIA in Tor's origin story? Let's dig into who created Tor and why. In the mid-1990s, amid the digital revolution, the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory began working on a system to protect the communications of spies and agents in the field. The project was called onion routing. Its goal was to securely transmit information over public channels without revealing the sender or origin. Among its creators were David Goldschlag, Michael Reed, and Paul Syverson. They didn't just encrypt data. They invented a way to split up the route so that no one could trace the entire path from sender to recipient. Now here's the twist. In the early 2000s, American intelligence agencies made an unexpected move. They made Tor public. They opened the source code and allowed anyone to use it. The reasoning was simple yet brilliant: to hide their agents' activity among regular users. If only spies used Tor, any traffic from the network would look suspicious. But if thousands of journalists, activists, and students used it too, it became impossible to distinguish spies from civilians. In 2002, Tor became an open-source project. By 2004, control was handed over to an independent development team, the Tor Project. But funding continued. According to Tor Project's 2010 reports, up to 80% of its budget at certain times came from U.S. government grants. Donors included the U.S. State Department, the National Science Foundation, and at times indirectly organizations tied to the CIA and NSA. The Tor Project has always stated it is independent, but true independence depends on money. In 2015, the project received $1.8 million from the Open Technology Fund, an organization backed by the U.S. State Department. This wasn't a secret. The figures are listed in official Tor Project reports. By 2020, Tor began seeking alternative funding from private donors, foundations, and crowdfunding. The reason was obvious. Being too reliant on government money undermines trust in a tool meant to protect users' privacy, even from the government itself. In 2017, social media buzzed with theories that Tor's code had hidden vulnerabilities, allegedly placed there by the NSA or CIA. Suspicion grew when a user posted a comparison between browser versions and pointed out lines of code that suddenly disappeared. The Tor Project responded, "Our code is open. Anyone can inspect it." No backdoor was found. But the fact the theory went viral speaks volumes. Trust in Tor isn't unconditional, especially if you know who created it. In 2019, the CIA officially launched its own Onion site, accessible only via Tor. It wasn't just for gathering intelligence. Its purpose was to find and recruit new informants, particularly in authoritarian countries. It was the first time an intelligence agency publicly acknowledged using Tor for operations. The CIA even released a statement calling the site a secure and anonymous way to interact with potential sources. Now, one question has worried users worldwide since this became public. If the network was created by the military, if it's funded through government grants, if intelligence agencies use it, can they spy on us? To answer that, we must understand how anonymous Tor really is, and where the line between safety and illusion lies. Online, people talk about Tor like it's an impenetrable shield no state or agent can break. But Tor isn't magic. It's just technology, and all technologies have limits. Let's start with what Tor does protect. It hides your IP, routes your traffic through multiple nodes, and makes it almost impossible to link sender and recipient directly. But the myth of absolute anonymity is just that, a myth. Tor can be attacked indirectly through traffic analysis and human error. Vulnerability number 1, traffic correlation. If an attacker controls both entry and exit nodes, they might correlate the size and timing of packets to identify users, It's difficult, but not impossible, especially for intelligence services.
Vulnerability number 2, malicious nodes. Anyone can run a Tor node, and not everyone does so with good intentions. In 2020, the Tor community faced one of the biggest attacks in its history. Hackers launched thousands of fake nodes to intercept traffic, redirect users, and inject fake security certificates. These stole cryptocurrency worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This was a Sybil attack, where a single entity poses as many independent actors. The Tor community quickly spotted the anomaly and shut down the malicious nodes. But the incident proved that without constant vigilance, even strong systems can be vulnerable. Vulnerability number 3, user error. Even with perfect network security, the human factor is the biggest hole. Checking personal email, logging into social media, downloading files, installing browser extensions. All of this can instantly break your anonymity. Vulnerability number 4, browser fingerprinting. Every browser is unique. Fonts, extensions, screen size, system language. Even without IP tracking, a site can collect enough data to identify you. If your Tor browser deviates from the default setup, you're vulnerable. In 2023, the FBI and international partners shut down Genesis Market, one of the largest Darknet marketplaces. It sold stolen digital identities, sessions, logins, and browser fingerprints. The site ran on Tor, but the network itself wasn't breached. Most arrests happened because of user mistakes, logging in from real IPs, making non-anonymized payments, reusing passwords. There's another side to this. Tor constantly improves. Researchers publish findings, patch flaws, and the community monitors suspicious nodes. In 2015, Tor faced controversy linked to Carnegie Mellon University. Researchers funded by the FBI ran malicious nodes to de-anonymize users, especially those visiting Darknet forums. According to leaks, the FBI paid the university over $1 million for the attack. They partially succeeded, de-anonymizing dozens of users and handing over data to authorities. The attack was tied to a joint FBI and Europol operation that shut down 27 Darknet sites, including Silk Road 2.0, and led to 17 arrests. Court documents revealed the FBI obtained about 78 IP addresses linked to Silk Road 2.0. The Tor project criticized the researchers for violating ethical standards and undermining trust in academic partnerships.
Snowden, Assange, and independent journalists all use Tor, understanding that when used properly, it remains one of the best privacy tools. In 2013, Snowden's leaks revealed the NSA tried to attack Tor users. The operation, called Egotistical Giraffe, aimed to track traffic exiting Tor and inject malicious code, especially into outdated versions of Firefox, the base of Tor browser. But in leaked documents, one line stood out. "We still can't break Tor, so we attack the environment." These stories matter. They show that even state agencies with billion-dollar budgets can't simply break Tor. Their attacks rely on social engineering and traps, not protocol breaches. None of these efforts show that Tor itself was hacked. But they remind us, careless user behavior can nullify any protection. The network stays strong, only the browser and its users were ever compromised. And according to 2020 research, just 6% of activity on Tor relates to illegal content. The rest is simply people. Despite myths and fear, Tor is a legal tool in most countries. But for Tor to truly protect you, it must be used correctly. Real privacy starts with awareness. Have you ever used Tor? Do you trust it? Or believe privacy is just an illusion in the modern world? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for future content.